The parents were asking. His father was asking, and of course, mother was also there with the father. And this personality, who is golden complexion, with golden complexion, is just looking at these two elderly people, these parents of Naru. He was just looking at them. And then the Narottama's wife, Narottama's mother, she closely looked at the face of this golden complexioned personality that is almost staring at these two elderly people. Then she realized, so this is my Naru. This is my son. She could not recognize. Why was like that? None of them could recognize. Not the parents, not everybody there, and not the mother too. For a minute, not for a minute. She did not recognize first because the Krishna Varna, the Shyama Varna Narottama, dark complexion Narottama, has now turned to golden complexion Narottama. After he stepped into river Padmavati, he got Krishna Prema. He was dancing ecstatically. He was mad, joyful. He danced the whole night. And in the morning, he saw his parents were coming and he was just standing there and said, this happened. So in this way, Srila Narottama, who was in Krishna Varnam, now is in Gaura Varnam. So Sri Krishna Namamrita Varshivaktra Chandra Prabhadvashtatamo Bharaya Gauranga Devaya Anucharaya Tasmai Namo Nama Srila Narottamaya Chandra Prabhadvashtatamo Bharaya. So here it is Gauranga Devaya Anucharaya Sri Krishna Namamrita Varshivaktra. When he speaks, a moon-like face by showering the nectar of Krishna. When Srila Narottama speaks, you know what happens when Srila Narottama speaks? Stale stale yasya kripa prabhabhi Krishnanyatrushna janasamhitana nirmulita eva bhavanti tasmai namo namah Srila Narottamaya. That's what happens when he speaks. Yeah, maybe you all also, you can repeat this. It is this one here. Yeah. Yeah, we can do it together. Dear devotees. Stale stale yasya kripa prabhabihi Krishnanyatrushna janasamhitana
Nirmulita
nirmulita
eva
bhavanti
bhavanti
tasmai
tasmai
namo namah
Srila
Narottamaya. Means wherever Narottama goes, stale stale, when he goes to place, his mercy, he bestows his mercy, and all the jana, all the mobs of people who come there, Srila Narottama, nirmulita eva bhavanti tasmai. Whatever tendencies they have, all those tendencies are wiped out, and he places Krishna Bhakti in their heart. To that, Srila Narottama, whose mercy vanquishes any other tendency and plants Krishna Bhakti, Prema Bhakti in their hearts. To that, Srila Narottama, Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya. Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya. I bow down, I offer my obeisances again and again to that Narottama. Because these Mahajanas, they are just powerhouses of Prema Bhakti. Their glance itself is enough. What to speak of glance? There's a disciple of Srila Narottama. He was captured by this Muslim king and he was put in a prison. put in a prison. And they would, and there was a death sentence given to this disciple. But this disciple, though he was in the prison, there the deal in the prison was like, there was they would not give him food if he doesn't stop chanting, something like that. But he didn't care a bit. But the thing is, so he had this death sentence, this disciple. And the death sentence was that a mad elephant was released towards him so it can crush him into pieces. That was the death sentence. So this disciple of Srila Narottama, he was constantly thinking of his Gurudeva. He was actually thinking of his Gurudeva. Not about Nitai or Gauranga or Radha or Krishna. A great disciple. He was actually he was like Jagai, Madai before he got initiated. He was very sinful, and he was captured by a ghost. There was a big story behind that. Yeah, he was actually possessed by a ghost too, a Brahma Rakshasi like that. And that Brahma Rakshasi, so this disciple, I'm just saying the story of this disciple also. He was more like a son of a king, kind of, a very wealthy person. Yeah, this disciple was son of a very wealthy person, possessed by Brahma Rakshasi. And he was also sinful. Then his father was trying to see how he can get his son better. He calls tantrics also, the black magic people, yeah, because it's a ghost that is possessing him. He does everything. And this Brahma Rakshasi would not leave. Then I think one day the tantrika, actually, the Brahma Rakshasi that was possessing this son, he speaks and he says, unless Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur comes, I will not leave your son. Then this father had to find out who this Narottama Thakur Mahasaya is, and then send a messenger and please invite him so he can come here, like that. So in this way, Srila Narottama was given invitation and he was very cordially invited, welcomed. And just as Srila Narottama entered into that palace, into the room of the son, the Brahma Rakshasi paid obeisances and said, I've been waiting for the darshan of this Mahasaya and I am released from my curse now. Offers pranams and the Brahma Rakshasi leaves just with the darshan of Srila Narottama. And so this is the disciple that got initiated by Srila Narottama after that. So this son of this wealthy person is now captured by this Muslim, and now he's sentenced to death now. And now, so this a disciple is brought out, yeah, and everybody, all of them were everybody in the kingdom, they were watching how this mad elephant is just released. So this disciple, he was on the floor, chained, and he was on the ground. And mad elephant was released. And he just closes his eyes, his disciple, and he simply chants and thinks, does the meditation of his Gurudeva, Srila Narottama Das Thakura. That's all he does. And mad elephant that was coming running towards him just stops. And then becomes very peaceful and bows down, offers obeisances to this disciple that is chained and was put on the ground. Then Nawab sees this. This never happened. So Nawab heart also changes. Then he realizes, oh, this mad elephant is supposed to kill, but That didn't happen. So Nawab comes down and asks, of course, he orders to release the chains. So then he asks this disciple, what is it that you were doing that the mad elephant just stopped at a distance? And this disciple says, I was just meditating on the lotus feet of my Gurudeva. That's all. And of course, this Nawab, after that, Nawab also goes, everybody becomes a disciple. But that is the power of these Mahajanas. The thought, why did we go there? Even the thought of Srila Narottama can do this. Even the thought of Srila Narottama Das Thakur can do this. When his disciple was thinking about him, what did he do to the mad elephant that was running towards him? So it's not that the mad elephant was meditating on Srila Narottama. The disciple was meditating. So the thought of these Mahajanas, these Acharya Bhagavans are not really any different from Bhagavans. When we think of Bhagavan, Bhagavan is there. Like that, these Acharya Bhagavans, they carry Govinda in their heart. So when we have these Acharyas in our heart, when we think of them, so they are there. They are there. All on a transcendental plane. Thought is not different from the personality who we are thinking about. So, yeah, even the thought of this Acharya Bhagavans is so potent. That's what has happened just with the thought. What to speak of the glance. So this is Tale Stale Yasya Kripa Prapabhi is wherever Srila Narottama goes, just with the glance, any other desires, any desires of this material world, they were just uprooted. And then Krishna Bhakti, Prema Bhakti is sown in the heart of all those fortunate people. That's the effect of. So that's what the shloka is. That's what the verse is talking about. Because he has seen this all. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has seen this all. And that's what he's stating. So that is the prachara of Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura. When his glance, when somebody is fortunate enough to receive the glance, that's it. Not only it's the end of their material entanglement, material miseries, but the start of the sprout of Prema Bhakti. That's Srila Narottama. Then, next verse. Yes, dear devotees, you can repeat after me. Sankirtanananda jamanda hasyam dantadyuti dyoti tadigmukhayam.
Sankirtananandajamandahasya dantadyuti-dyotiта-dinamukhaya
Svedashrudharasnapitaya tasmai namo namah Srila Narottamaya.
Vedashrudharasnapitaya tasmai namo namah Srila Narottamaya.
That's describing the Vapu, transcendental Vapu of Srila Narottama. When they are filled with Prema Bhakti, what will happen? Their presence itself is Ananda Bhajan, Sankirtanananda Jamanda Hasya. So they are always in Sankirtan, they are always in Bhajan, and then Mandahasya. Because the bhajan is always happening within them, there will be a mandahasya, a smile, mandahasya on the lotus face of Srila Narottama. And then Dantadyuti, Dyotita Digmukhaya, a pearl row of the row of teeth are like pearls and they're shining. Sveda Ashrudhara Snapitaya. Sveda Ashrudhara. This is all about, this is what happens to all the Gaura Priyajanas. How do you identify a Gaura Priyajana? Sveda Ashrudhara Snapitaya. Nainam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadgadaruddhaya Gira. This is how we identify Gaura Priyajana. So tears rolling down the cheek and Gontu, Patkadam, throat choking. So that is the Vapu of Srila Narottama. The first one was the identity of Srila Narottama, Gauranga Devaya Anucharaya. The second one was the Vapu of Srila Narottama. And then his prachar. Mridanganada Shruti Matra Chanchat Mridanganada Shruti Matra Chanchat Padambuja Manda Manoharaya. Yes, dear devotees, you may please repeat after this. Mridanganada Shruti Matra Chanchat Padambujanan Manda Manoharayam.
Mridangananda Shruti Matra Chanchat Ambuja Manoharaya.
Tadya Samutyat Pulakaya Tasmai Namo Nama Srila Narottamaya.
Sadhya Samutyat Pulakaya Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya.
Yeah, this is the dancing during the kirtan. These devotees, the Gaura Janas, when they hear the Mridanga Nada, that is a, stimulus, vibhava. When you see a peacock feather, then that will remind us of Krishna, Nandanandana Krishna, vibhava. Like that, for all the Gaura Bhaktas, the Mridanganadam is a vibhava. So, with vibhava, there is a anubhava. All this comes in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, just with the Mridanganada, he would just so gracefully dance. Mridanganada Shruti Matra, just Shruti Matra, Mridanga, Chanchat Padambuja Manda Manoharaya. He would dance so gracefully. Sadhya Samudyat Pulakaya Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya. And of course, that graceful dance attracts everyone's heart. That is the Kirtan and Nritya of Srila Narottama. That is Nritya of Narottama. Then what is the Gana of Narottama? We can please repeat. Gandharva Garvokshapana Swalasya Vismitapita Sesha Kritivrajaya. This is long. I'll break it, please. Yeah. Gandharva Garvokshapana
Gandharva Garvakshapana
Swalasya Vismitapita Asesha Kritivrajaya.
Swalasya Bhishma Kriti Shesha Kirti Vrajaya.
Swashrita Gana Pratitaya Swashrita Gana Pratitaya Tasmai Namo Nama Srila Narottamaya.
Swashrita Gana Pratitaya Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya.
And this verse is talking about the signature kirtans of Srila Narottama. Up until then, in Gaudiyas, there was a way of bhajans. The bhajans used to be sung in certain way, but Srila Narottama has brought a different, his signature way of singing a bhajan. Yeah. So, those people who know more about music, they will know it. But this with the bhava that he has, Srila Narottama Das Thakura, and with the raga that he could come up to, he just set a different, a new mellow in the bhajans. So his bhajans were like Gandharva Garva Upshapana, subduing, crushing the pride of Gandharvas. So his bhajans were so melodious and they're signatured by his way of singing. That's Srila Narottama's Ganam, Kirtanam. And so, what does Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura, what happens to Srila Narottama when he is singing like this and when he's dancing like this? What happens to them? What's next? Okay, can do this. Yeah. Ananda Murcha. This font, this presentation is different, but Ananda Murcha. Yes. Ananda Murcha Avanipata Bhatam Dhuli Bharalankara Vigrahayam.
Anandamurcha
Avanipata
Avanipata
Dhuli
Dhuli
Bharalankara
Baralanka
Vigrahayam.
Vigrahaya
Yaddarshanam Bhagyabharena Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya.
Yaddarshanam Bhagyabharena Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Yaddarshanam Bhagyabharena. When would I get the darshan of Srila Narottama, who is Ananda Moksha Avanipata Bhata? You know, the other symptom, how we can say they are Gaura Priyajanas, Ananda Murcha, they fall unconscious. Along with the ecstatic symptoms, they fall unconscious. Ananda Murcha Avanipata Bhatam. So when the kirtan and kirtan is happening, he would dance so graciously and he's singing so melodiously, and then all of a sudden he would fall unconscious on the ground. And then how does the transcendental body look? Dhuli bhara alankrita vigrahaya. When his transcendental body falls onto the ground, rolling on the ground and falling unconscious, the whole transcendental body is decorated with the dust, dust from the ground. When would I get the darshan of my Gurudeva Srila Narottama, whose transcendental body is decorated with the dust from the ground as he rolls in ecstasy and falls unconscious? He has seen it all. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Then, so that is what happens when he sings the bhajan, when he does the kirtan, and what happens to him when the kirtan goes. Falling unconscious. And we just heard how his pracharis, just with a glance itself, what to speak of the word. Whatever tendencies, material tendencies there, everything would just be wiped away. And everybody will get thirst for Krishna Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. See? Krishna Anya Trishna Jana Samhitanam. Krishna Anya Trishna. How beautiful is that? Trishna is such longing. Such longing, huh? So imagine all the people were just walking around with such longing for, I want to get this in my life. Huh? Such longing for something else. So much absorbed and wanting that. And Narottama passes by like that. And merciful glance. And they have darshan of this Narottama. That's it. Such longing that they have for something else now turned to such longing for Krishna. This is association. Did they do anything? And did they do anything? They were just walking by. They had longing for things of this world. Sinful, sense gratification, longing, everything was going on. But when the Mahajana walked by, with the influence of those Mahajanas, with the mercy of the Mahajanas, things happen. So that is how their pracharis, they don't even have to say anything. They just have to be present. And if they would like to, then they can just please cast a glance. Cast a glance like that. Yeah, next one. How many are there? Okay, I think it might take time. So I will just recite these verses and quickly say what they are. And then maybe we will pause after that. That way there will be some paraspara. This arrangement of the words is so different. I wish I can take my book and then just read it out. Yet bhakti. Okay, I will try. Yeah? Yet bhakti nishtopala this. Yet bhakti nishta. Yeah, see the meaning. Yat bhakti nishta upalareki evam sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasyam pramanyam shruti vadyadiyam tasmai namo nama Srila Narottamaya. This is about the devotion of Srila Narottama. Yat bhakti nishta upalareki eva. His bhakti is like the letters written on the stone. Stone on the stone. Sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasya. This is so beautiful, dear devotees. Sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasya. You know, touch stone, dear devotees. Say if there is a mud pile, huh? Mud pile cannot become a gold. Mud pile is mud pile. But when the touchstone comes, and you know when touchstone is, I want this mud pile to be gold. Yeah. So with that desire, when the mud pile is, I think, muted. Yeah. With that desire, when we touch the mud pile with a touchstone, then the mud pile becomes gold. That's the magical effect of touchstones. Exactly. We are like mud piles. We cannot become gold. But sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasya. These acharyas, they are touchstones. When their vadi comes and touches us, Mahat Mahan Mukhachuto Bhavat Padamboja Sudha Kananila. That's sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasya. Then the beauty is these mud piles, they become gold because the touchstone has the gold quality. Whoever is touching that touchstone, that is gold. This is how bhakti descends through their vani, and this is how things happen. And Murtayeva bhaktim kimayam kimesha vairagya sara murtim vairagya sara tanum ruloke sambhavayate yakritibi sadayaivam tasmai namo nama Srila Narottamaya. Their effect again. Oh yeah, Srila Narottama. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, what do I speak? How do I glorify this personality, transcendental personality? Is he an embodiment of detachment? Or an embodiment of prema bhakti. External, he is totally embodiment of detachment. Vairagyasara tanuman ruloke. And that's happening because Murtayeva bhaktim kimayam kimesha. He is the Murti bhavinchina bhakti rupam. Personification of bhakti, Krishna bhakti, prema bhakti. And that's why he is Vairagyasara. He is also personification of renunciation. That is, they go hand in hand. They will go hand in hand. There is so much of Krishna Rati inside. Then there will automatically be Virakti outside. Yeah. And next one. Shri Radhika Krishna Vilasa Sindhau Nimajjitaha Srila Narottamasyam Pate Devashtakam Yetaduchai Asau Tadiyam Padavim Prayati. See, dear devotees, this is not Atisayokti. What? Atisayokti is an exaggeration. When we are hearing again and again, we just have to hear this Mahajanas. We just have to fill our ears and heart and our whole self with the Vani of these Mahajanas. That's all, and everything else happens. When we hear that, really? Everything happens? Do I not do this? Do I not do that? That's how this mind thinks. And one may think, oh, so maybe this is a little more glorification, exaggeration. How can things just happen just by hearing? Karma, 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 karma. We can't even comprehend, right? Like things like that happen. See, what is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying? Srila Narottama is, he's always Sri Radhika Krishna Vilasa Sindhau Nimajjitaha. He's always absorbed. Nimajjita is submerged. Acharya is submerged in Sri Radhika Krishna Vilasa Sindhau, in the pastimes, the divine pastimes of Sri Radhika and Madhava. That's what they're submerged in. That's what Srila Narottama is submerged in. So when somebody reads this, Pated Yevashtakam Etad Uchayar, with loudly, whoever reads this Ashtakam of Srila Narottama Das Thakura, Pated Yeva Ashtakam Etad Uchayar, Asau Tadiyam Padavim Prayati. You know what that means, dear devotees? Asau Tadiyam Padavim Prayati. That devotee, he or she who recites this Ashtakam of Narottama every day, he or she will be taken to the place of Narottama. That's what we just heard, right? This Acharya Vani. We don't bring a Acharya Vani down to our level. No, it's not meant to be like that. Sun rays come from sun. They touch the ground. They touch us to give the light. Right? We cannot drag the sun to the earth planet. No. With the mercy of the sun rays will be the channel to meet the sun god. So the point is, Acharya Vani, the very purpose of the Acharya Vani is to pick us up from where we are and carry us to a place where they are. That we should remember, dear devotees. Descending mercy means to pick us up from where we are and places where we belong to. So when we are hearing the Acharya Vani, the descending mercy, we should simply become begging balls. There is nothing in this system that it could even grasp that. If we try to understand, come up with a plan, use it for a solution, try it this way, that way. No, please. You are using a shalagram shila to break the nuts. We don't do that with the Acharyavani. We don't do that. Acharyavani, Shabda Brahman is like Shalagram Shila. That we have to understand. We worship their Vani. We don't try to manipulate that. Right? That's the power of Acharya Vani. That's when things happen. That's when things happen. That's when Namaruchi comes. That's when all the Vaishnava qualities come like that. So the Vani of the Acharyas is like Shalakram Shila. So, yeah. Karunya Drishti Samita. I have to break this one here. Karunya Drishti Samita Shrita. Yeah. Karunya Drishti Samita Shritamanya Kotim Ramya Adharodhyaya. This is it. Karunya Drishti Samita Shritamanya Koti Ramya Adharodhyat Ati Sundara Danta Kanti Ramya Adharodhyat Sundara Danta Kanti Shriman Narottama Mukhambuja Mandahasyam Lasyam Tanot Hridime Vitarat Svadasyam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Vitarat Svadasyam. Now that he has glorified Acharya Deva, now he's saying, Karunya Drishti Samita Shrita Manyu Koti. Karunya Drishti, the glances are laden with mercy. And the gentle smile on the face. Yeah. This to the surrender absolves millions of surrenders. Yeah. So this glances that are coming from the mercy-laden glances of Srila Narottama and the gentle smile on the face and the radiance coming from the darshan of the Pada Ambuja of Narottama, that sins, all the sins are destroyed just by having that darshan. And of course, the beautiful teeth are also described there. Beautiful teeth showing up in between the enchanting lips. So darshan of the face is all given. The lotus-like face with mercy-laden glances and the smile. With pearl-like teeth in between the enchanting lips of Srila Narottama. May this may this darshan of this Acharya Deva stay in my heart. Okay, that's one thing. Hridime vitarat svadasyam. So, yeah. And the next one is Rajan Mridanga Karatala Kalabhiramam Gauranga Gana Madhupana Bharabhiramam Shriman Narottama Padambuja Manjunrutyam Vrityam Kritartiyatu Mam Paliteshta Krityam. Yeah. So this is the enchanting dance of Rajan Mridanga Karatala Kalabhiramam. When Mridanga and Karatala are being resounded, then Srila Narottama is dancing Gauranga Gana Madhupana Bharabhiramam. He's drinking the Madhupana, the nectar of Gauranga. Gauranga's glory. Drinking the nectar of Gauranga's glory. And dancing to the kartals and amridangas. Shriman Narottama Padambuja Manjarutyam, his lotus feet, Padambuja Manjarutyam, enchanting dance of the lotus feet of Srila Narottama. Vrityam Kritardiyatu Mam Paliteshta Krityam. I am the Bhritya. I am the servant of Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura. So, let this enchanting dance of Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura with his delicate lotus feet, his glorious dance be imprinted in my heart and satisfy the desires of his servant, of this servant of Narottama. That's Srila Narottama Prabhu Rashtakam. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura Mahasaya ki jaya. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura ki jaya. So what we have heard is about the Parichaya of Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura, who is Gauranga Devaya Anucharaya. And after that, we heard about the Gana and Nritya of Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura and his Vapu. After that, we heard about the Prachar. When that is happening, the Gana and Nritya is happening, then he would fall unconscious, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura is saying, may I always have the darshan. When would I have darshan of that Vapu that is rolling on the ground and is decorated with the sand and has fallen unconscious in the kirtan. So after that is Stale, the prachar of this Prema Bhakti Mahajana. Just the presence and glance is enough. How their prachar uproots any inclinations, material inclinations, and plants the seed of pure devotion, Prema Bhakti. That. And after that, how the bhajan of this Mahajana is like the letters written on the stone. And there we heard, let this touchstone touch me. Sparsha puna sparsha manaiva yasya. So that's about the touchstone that we have heard. And how the Mahajana is a personification of Prema Bhakti inside. So automatically, so great Krishna Rati inside with Virakti outside, Virakti to the Prapanchika Vishayas. And how Narottama is always submerged in the ocean of Sri Sri Radha Krishna's sweet pastimes. And whoever recites this bhajan, this Ashtakam, Srila Narottama Ashtakam, every day, is taken to the place where Sri Narottama is. There's a Manjari, right? Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura. I think Champaka Lata Manjari, something like that. So, and then the glances, and then the dance. So that's the description, dear devotees. I think we will pause here so we can have some. All yours now, please.